Okey dokey. Oh,
Technical
difficulty and we knew where it was looking for operating.
need a little bit when we can hold it up in front of the owl.
Well, now, so
You're muted, you're muted.
that's last week.
That's funny. when
Okay.
people can see.
regular council meeting, take one. Okay, welcome, council, staff, one member of the public in the audience, and to whoever's watching live somewhere out there on our YouTube channel, to the Town Lake Couch and regular council meeting Tuesday, October 25th, 2022, starting at 6:02 p.m. And this meeting is being held at council chambers temporarily located at 38 King George Street, Lake Cowichan, BC, and transmitted electronically as well. Before I call the meeting to order, I'd just like to acknowledge this meeting is taking place on the traditional unceded territories of Subasa, our local First Nation, where we all live, work, and play together happily as neighbors. With that, I'd like to call this meeting to order and ask for any introduction of late item.
We have a leave of absence for tonight's meeting for Councillor Austin, who has come down with something,
So that'll be our new business item.
please.
I'd just like to make a notice of motion. I noticed that in the agenda, there was no report regarding the town office renovation. We'd asked for,
That's what we committed for.
is it? So just, okay, so there'll be a report.
Oh, yeah. I just got it actually,
Okay,
and a couple months.
okay, so we're seeing
There'll be a
like-
little more.
okay, thank you.
Well, anything else?
One other thing, just the insurance that renewed. And the staff report, global, I think it is.
Staff report. 3. Insurance. Insurance for construction,
May,
insurance for,
well,
oh, okay. Anything else?
no, that's it.
With that, I'm looking for a motion to approve this agenda as amended. Moved by Councilor Sandu, second by Councilor Macro. All those in favor, not opposed, motion carried. Now we can go to the minutes of the regular meeting and council held on September 27th, 2022. The motion is approved.
I have a question.
Okay.
Under Couch and Watershed Board, what I stated was that Tom Rutherford would be overseeing, that Tom Rutherford would be executive director until the new business manager is appointed. And that was from our July meeting we had. So I just want that. It wasn't about the weird project.
Staff, no, no, yeah.
What is that, what is that?
Just that Tom Rutherford will remain as executive director until the new business manager is hired.
Okay, motion to approve those minutes with that correction, moved by Councilor Sandu, second by Councilor McGonigal. All in favor? Opposed? No business arising, no delegations. No correspondence. We can move right down to reports. And the first report is committee of the whole from October 11th, 2022. Councilor McAfee.
Thank you. I'd like to move the minutes of the committee of the whole meeting held and transmitted electronically via temporary council chambers located at 38 King George Street, Lake Cowichan from Tuesday, October the 11th. Find them all. Have the correspondence. Capital request that the correspondence from the Caps Historical Society regarding its capital request for 2023 budget for the Catch Station Museum be referred to the next council for budget discussion in 2023. That a report on the cost and budget projections be provided on the municipal hall upgrade project, which would include work order changes to date. That the committee recommend approval of the Lake Cowichan Fire Department's incident report in the amount of $15,260.23 for August of 2022. That the committee recommend approval of the Lake Cowichan Fire Department's incident report in the amount of $8,836.24 for September of 2022. That the committee recommend that the matter of refuse collection at local parks and public spaces remain on the agenda as a subject for the next incoming council. That the committee recommend that the remediation of the current public works yard be added to the strategic plan under Beyond 2022. That the committee recommend that the creation of a dog park be included in the strategic plan under Beyond 2022. And that is all of them.
Okay, thank you very much. It's been moved and for a second by Councilor Sandu. Call the question, all those in favor? Not opposed, the motion carried. Next one is Couch and Lake Recreation. There is no meeting. Next meeting, I believe, is November 17th. Next, we can move along to the Vancouver Island Regional Library. Councilor Gilmore-Hagan.
In my absence, Councillor Austin went to a strategic planning meeting and she emailed and said she'd have a report at a future meeting.
Thank you. Advisory Planning Commission, Councilor Austin again.
I could probably report on it.
Thank you.
She was provided with notes here on that meeting, basically saying that Darlene was away, so Rob Patton was like to chair the meeting. It dealt with some OCP amendment and updates to land use. And they've also added smaller lots, downtown density and a greater height in the urban area. So recommendation. Bypass bridge over the river at Hut Grove Road is something that they want council to continue reporting and being on top of it. We dealt with the community information tool, person information, and I also dealt with the Lake Housing Connectivity Strategy. And we're hoping that council will support it. This may be a good meeting to do it. Support CBRD application that was fine. And they also had some information from community services, which feeling is that we should have actually gone to council and not. You can see that shows the extent of the meeting.
Thank you very much. Now, you spoke briefly about the connectivity strategy. Looking for council endorsement. Would you like to bring that up in the Cowichan Valley Regional District?
I can, if I may.
Mayor-elect McGonigal.
Well, thank you very
Too
much.
many M's there.
Too many levels. I will speak briefly to the strategy moving forward.
Absolutely true. Suggest the possible. So sorry. Okay, community forest. Cool. Mayor-elect McGonigal.
I'm still a counselor tonight. Mayor Dave, you are still the mayor
No.
until we hear that gavel pound for the final time for this term. And until then, I'm still under your advisement. But I appreciate that. Community Forest Co-op annual general meeting is this Thursday at 7 o'clock at the Cowichan Lake Community Forest Co-op office. All are welcome. It will be election time at that time for members looking for members at large and the general public that are appointed at that time. All those appointments will come forward at the AGM. If you're available, come on up and have a look and see what the Forest Co-op has to offer to our communities.
All right. We'll move on to other reports, Cowichan Valley Regional District Board meeting. Councilor Bell.
So the final board meeting of October 12th, 2022, there were a number of retiring directors who chose not to run. That was their final meeting. Sherry Yanni Bernardo was one that chose retirement over putting her name forward again. We did thank her for her service to the community and to the board and to the Cowichan Valley in particular during a very tumultuous time in her time as chair. Under the committee of the whole meeting of that night, the drinking water and watershed protection program update was given. There was a PowerPoint given on the 2022 work plan and moving ahead what the 5-year plan will be on monitoring of surface water, and then moving into monitoring of groundwater as well in different well surfaces. Under the transit, there was a use agreement update on the Vancouver Island University Transit Station that was re-amended to agreement for that placement. The Community Resiliency Investment Program, an application for fire smart projects throughout the regional district in the electoral areas. We have a similar program that we apply to for the municipality. This would be the regional districts program for applications. They've applied for fire smart projects, including structural protection equipment for North Forster Fire Department and Malahat Fire Department. There is a third protection unit that is located in the central that can be moved as needed as well. That was in the committee of the whole. And the board meeting, Cowichan Housing sent support for Magdalena apartment, the one that has some structural issues, and they have been asked to vacate while that is rectified, from the Cowichan Housing Association Housing Trust Fund that will incorporate a small contribution towards relocation costs, moving costs, etc. It's about $1,000 for each tenant that's affected. The 5-year financial plan had to be amended to reflect changes in approximately 40 budgets with a total of $3,007,999 that have been approved throughout the year. These increases will be incorporated in grant funding, short-term borrowing, and transfer from reserves. There will be no requisition increase in that 40 budget amendments. Also within the electoral area zoning bylaw, they amended some of the uses within the cannabis use bylaw 4349 to take it out of agricultural, etc. Just cleaning up some of the language in that cannabis bylaw. Under the connectivity issue, there is currently a study on a consultant on a regional basis looking at Lake Cowichan and 2 other areas on connectivity issues. Once that study comes through, we will bring it back to council for our approach on what could be implemented further on as that connectivity results comes to the board and then further comes to council. There will be a possibility of some funding moving forward to accommodate that connectivity. If need be, I believe a motion of support from this council on the connectivity strategy could be appropriate. And having said that, I would move that Mayor and Council approve endorsing in principle the CBRD connectivity strategy for the region district.
It's moved by Councilor McGonigal. We have a seconder. Councilor Sandu, any discussion?
And aside from, if I may, aside from cell telecommunication, they're looking at internet connectivity as well. as we saw during COVID with people meeting virtually, some of the outlying areas where Buchanan Bay or Yubo would have connectivity issues while attending WebEx meetings. If there was a presentation in a video per se by staff, they would have to turn their cameras off to accommodate bandwidth, saving bandwidth. So they're looking at all possible connectivity issues, not just cell, but internet, et cetera. Unfortunately, as we heard at UBCM, even though we have moved the internet and connectivity is a necessity, not only for business, but for accommodating governance, it is still in the hands of corporations who look at the bottom lines. Until such a time as it can be accommodated within a federal mandated requirement, I think we're going to still see that return on investment for those corporations having to look at their long-term financial goals. But there will be some possible funding moving forward to accommodate better connectivity in rural areas that they identify.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Call the question and all those in favor? None opposed, and motion is carried. Is that that in the break?
That will do it. That was a very short meeting, very extensive. I'm sure there will be more extensive ones coming.
Community Outreach Team Committee. Councilor Austin. Saw an email that said that herself and Councilor Lundberg are going to the social justice class at the high school to talk about services for the homeless and marginalized folks. Back report on. And we can go on to our couch.
So no meeting in October. Our next meeting is November 10th. In person.
Oh, good.
Then the couch and watershed board.
Our next meeting is October 31st. Oh,
What are you
I'm
going
dressed
at?
up as a fish.
Okay, we can now go to staff reports then. Chief Administrative Officer regarding Community Resiliency Program for 2023 community funding supports. And there's a recommendation. Mr. Fernandez.
Yeah. They have, UBCM now issued grant program. So December 31st is National Fire Risk. And there are two components to it, one for $100,000 that the West fire risk areas and 200,000 areas that are high risk. So we're going for the high risk grant. So basically, that grant is approximately about $197,000. So that's why we actually want to back that up.
Okay, so the resolution states the council resolution as required by EDCM, which should read as follows. The council approved the making of a grant application under the Community Resiliency Investment Program for a 2023 Fire Smart Funding Support Project for UBCM, and that it further provide assurance that it would support all proposed activities under the plan and would undertake the overall proper fiscal management of the grant. That's the recommendation. Moved by Councilor Sandhu, second by Councilor Mackin. Any discussion? Councilman.
And similar to the CBRD application on the structural project that they have applied for, I think this could be accommodated to fulfill that structural unit in our purview as well. That would give four within the regional district to a placement of those structural protection units. Depending on what comes forward from the fire department on recommendations, aside from the Fire Smart remediation of fine fuels, and we have been identified as a high risk Fire Smart community. So hopefully we are successful again in this application.
So, all the question and all those in favor? No one opposed, motion is carried.
On the next staff report, Mr. Mayor, I will have to declare a conflict. I am the director on the Falcon Lake Elder Care Society, and I don't feel that I should be involved in the discussion on the development variance.
You noted that, Councilor Longo left the room at 6:20.
That's not this one. This one's not showing.
So this is not so I'm not sure.
Yeah, 256.
Maybe running around.
Yeah. I think we-
Maybe it's something we don't.
Yeah.
That's right. We thought it was over there.
I was ahead of myself. When
That's
I
good plan.
declared it, I'll go when it comes up.
Good plan. Okay, Mr. Fernandez,
Yes,
a lovely staff report.
the new owner of lot of 256 North Shore Road has demolished the existing house, and he would like to build another one in the existing spot. So the footprint will use the same footprint. The issue is now with the new riparian areas regulations, there are some requirements that he has to meet because he's starting at 75% of the building.
Yeah.
So he's got to meet the requirements, which means he's got to apply for, he had to apply for a development variance permit and a development permit. So as you can see the recommendation attached from the traffic planner. I think we cover that issue. Still subject to the problems.
Councilor Sandy.
Just so if the province, if they don't support this, then
I have actually got correspondence from that, which tells me that really at the end of the day, the town makes the decision.
Okay.
Municipality makes the decision, but we want to work.
yeah.
Okay, I don't know if I need to read this full recommended resolution. I trust you all read it.
You would need two resolutions.
Okay. So the first one is development variance permit.
Very 550.
Read that
Moved
one,
by Councilor Smith. If you want me to.
or dealing with just the first one.
Just the first one, development area permit. Okay, if I don't read aloud.
Sure.
All, remover, Councilor Sandu, second by Councilor Lomaka. Any further discussion? I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed, motion carried. Now we can go to the development permit itself. Losing. Mover,
Second, if you need.
second, Councilor Sandu and Councilor Donovan. Any discussion? So, resolution.
If I may, well, the property owner had indicated that he was in, but obviously it's not done yet. So it's not going to affect it.
So I'll call the question. All those in favor? None opposed, motion carries. Thank you very much. Good work by staff. And the applicant navigate that one. Now we can go to bylaws.
And now, if we rewind 3 minutes, I will rename myself for receipt from.
Just one issue.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Oh,
We had one more.
that's something new business.
We had it a second.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Report, okay.
Yeah, so the staff report on insurance.
I'll leave at some point.
So late in the day today, we got the quote for the proposed renewal premium for property insurance. It's come in at very high, $111,319. So we've got an increase of about 10 million from 32 to 42 million in coverages and limits. They've also on the equipment, they've increased the earthquake minimum from 10 to 20%. they have also increased our deductibles from 5,000 to 10,000 and the earthquake deductible. All right, so, we would be looking for a motion to renew, the insurance, but it is still subject to some, questions that they've got about the dock, the maintenance of bridges and docks. So this is the proposed, amount right now, so it could go up just slightly. We have removed, we had a co-margins clause last year, so that's been removed. And, the insurer's rate has increased by 10%. Our values have increased over 10 million because we did an asset appraisal. And so all of these has resulted in so far about just over $30,000 increase in our property insurance costs. So we're here looking for a motion to approve the renewal premium of 111,319, but it could be slightly higher and we'll come back with those, not much higher, but there are still some questions and some things that we need to work out before the end.
Okay, you've heard the recommended motion, the dollar amount of $111,319. Moved by Councilor Mack. Second by Councilman Bond. Any discussion?
Questions from me? In the budget process, we have obviously budgeted for insurance. What sort of
This
increase?
renews November 1st, so it's only 2 months of the premium in this year, and we do have, the budget for it. The rest will be budgeted for next year. The insurance company has come back with, everybody's insurance is going up. It's a lot to do with the insurance costs for catastrophic coverages such as flood and all the fires and that kind of thing that's been happening in the province.
I think we all got that same form letter. Due to increase. Thank you.
Councilor Mack.
So a question to our finance, does that take into account the new town hall once it's completed, or
It'll go up.
you have to wait till it's completed and then it'll go up
We have
again?
separate insurance, construction insurance on the building while it's in the construction, so it will increase this for next year once it's added.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, call the question, and all those in favor? None opposed, motion is carried. Can we go to bylaws? Councilman Bond will go now.
Can I go now? So again, I'm going to declare a conflict as I am a director on the Council Lake Elder Care Society, which this bylaw is pertaining to.
Mongo is meeting at 6:29.
The third house.
Okay, so there we have under bylaws, Town of Lake Council zoning amendment bylaw number 1079/2022, that may be read a first, second time, Mr. Fernandez.
Yes, this is the property that's located by the library and the extended care facility. What's the name?
Renford.
Couch and,
Redford.
no, the name. is the group
Oh,
that-
Couch and Elder Care?
Elder. They have applied for rezoning because the current zoning, there are two zones, one is privately owned and the first that piece. So we have to make it work, it has to change to P1 use. And so this bylaw will do that. It's here for first and second reading. Then it'll go through a public hearing process.
Okay. Move by. Councilor Mack, second by. Mr. Sandu. Any discussion? Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Vote this time. Real? Okay.
So then
Motion carries. Yeah.
Anybody can stay.
Yes, you're back just in time for citing bylaw number 1080/2022.
I was waiting for that.
Yes. bylaw also will be read first and second time. Mr. Fernandez.
Yes, this is, the property owner, is the new owner of 163 Weaver Road, and decided to purchase that lot, and he'd like, but purchase that lot, he'd like to subdivide it into smaller lots. That is the intent. And so, for that reason, he wants to sell to reflect that new use.
Councilor Sandhu.
How many lots is he looking?
Well, when it comes to the subdivision application. So there's.
And what-
Quick question, is it one town lot right now or
Yes.
more?
One. It's a fairly big, it's a double lot.
But we don't know how many lots he wants to subdivide it into. So how can we pass it now without knowing?
Well, the subdivision would be a separate issue.
Okay,
We just have to look at all the issues.
so we're just passing, it's just a zoning application.
Yeah, it's
now.
well, it's got first and second reading, that's all we're doing. We're
Yeah.
not really passing it to. You can go to small houses, you have to put small. Homes down. And. Public hearing would decide whether to go, and even if you do decide to approve it, the subdivision process is a separate process, and at that point, it will determine whether it's still feasible.
Okay, Councilor Donovan and Councilor Sandhu.
So without the zoning amendment, there would be no accommodation of the small house in there. So that is the first step. But similar to the Point Ideals subdivision, we implemented smaller lots with it. And at the Couchin Road across from the motel, similar small lots within that. That was the first process, and then came back with the subdivision plan for further approval. On
Well, it
this.
doesn't come back to town.
No, through the approval notes on that portion. So without the amendment to the rezoning, there would be no possibility of accommodating this one. So, thank you.
Councilor Sandhu. So really what we're considering here is the construction of small homes.
I'll move it.
Moved by Councilor Sandhu, second by Councilor Macklin.
With a question back to our CAO again. So when you're talking tiny homes, I just have a concern that if there were a lot of tiny homes that they would, with the zoning that we're passing, would that allow for vacation rental or B&Bs?
No, that is only.
Wouldn't bring, okay,
I mean,
perfect.
the same order owns the property at,
Penny Lane.
Palace, the old
Okay.
Palace.
Okay,
He probably wants to look at something like
okay, great, thank you.
Just to be clear, it would not be tiny homes because they are not accommodated currently in the building code. So they are not identified as an accommodation to be placed within the lot at present.
At present.
So it would be a small structure of wood or wood-based structure similar to a large house, but only in a smaller scale.
Okay, I will call the question. All those in favor? None opposed, and motion carried. And next we have the Town of Lake Council official community plan bylaw amendment number 1081/2022, and that may be read first and second time as well. Mr. Fernandez.
that. Okay, this is basically a housekeeping matter, just making sure that the tables that are reflected here match the zoning bylaw. So that's what, also, that's the intent.
So
Moved by Councilor Brown, second by Councilor Sandhu. Any more discussion on that matter? None, then I'll call the question. All those in favor? None opposed, the motion is carried. Now we can move to new business. And the item there is a motion to approve Councilor Austin's absence to the proceeding, moved by Councilor Sandhu, second by Councilor Romero. Third, and all those in favor? No opposed, motion carries. Next, we have a mayor's report. Please excuse me with this report. A lot of thoughts going through my mind as I try to put it on papers. I hope it all makes sense. Okay, 2 years ago, when I was elected mayor, it was obvious that the 2 years left in the term would not be such that one could plan for it. It was obvious by the outcome of the election that the public was looking for stability in their local government. I'm very proud to say that over the past 4 years, our local government staff, elected officials, and residents of the town of Lake Cowichan have navigated through 3 elections, a social media storm, a pandemic, unprecedented development pressures, a heat dome, a drought, an atmospheric river, an old growth logging dispute, a mass vaccination program, and record-breaking tourism seasons, all of which affected our daily routines in ways we probably were not prepared for. But we made it through it all by sticking together as a community. Now is the time for me to say congratulations to the newly elected mayor and council. I wish you the very best in all your deliberations, and more importantly, in all your relationships together as a governing body at this table and other tables at which you will sit. For myself, now it is time for me to be thankful. Thank you to my family who support my will to serve. I know that sometimes that has not been easy on this road less traveled by us. Thank you to all the residents of the town for all your support and encouragement over the years. Thank you to all the critics that make us pause and reflect when considering initiatives that could affect your daily lives and your pocket. Thank you to all the management and staff, both past and present, for your daily commitment to the work of operating a municipality and putting up with us elected people and our grand ideas. You have performed miracles, a modest budget, and I hope you will continue to believe in the vision set out in the official community plan and provide sound advice to your mayor and council as this community grows. Thank you to those I've served with in the past and up to the present. When I look back over the time I have served, the list is long of what our local government has accomplished that has made our community a better place to live for many. I feel very privileged to have been a part of this organization and the people in it as an elected official for 12 years. Looking forward, if I could wish for one thing on this day, it would be that our elected leaders and staff advocate for community initiatives that help us become an even more all-inclusive community when it comes to housing, healthcare, and recreation that is affordable and accessible to all classes of health and wealth. I believe this can be accomplished through robust community engagement and financed by collaborating with other levels of government. All the best to all of you. I have confidence our town will be served well by your collective decision. Thank you for stepping forward to take on this most.
And if I may, Mayor Doyle, in response to that, I want to rise and thank you personally and publicly for getting us to where we are today. As a group, we went through some tumultuous times, and it was very difficult for anyone to think that coming in would be easy. You have left us in a better position than before you took the office. And I want to personally thank you and look you in the eye and appreciate the service that we have done together for 12 years. I wish you well, and I thank you for the nice words on the upcoming council to move forward. I appreciate everything you do. You're a stalwart of the community, and you should be proud of what we have accomplished.
I was just gonna say that, in 2018, I felt sometimes we weren't we as a council. I felt sometimes it was I. And when you were elected, that was one of the things you talked to each of us individually. to assess where we were, what you wanted to hear from us as individual counselors. And I respect that greatly, because it's not easy coming into halfway through a term and through a pandemic and everything else. And I just want to say thank you for everything you've done. You have a heart in this community that is never going to leave. You have a legacy here. And right now it may not feel that great, but you know, and we know what you've accomplished, and you've got lots more to do. So I just want to personally thank you, Bob.
Wow. And I'd like to thank you because I'm not the easiest person to deal with. What? I was thinking to myself, I come unglued many times, and I'm sure you would have rather have used duct tape on me numerous times, but you saw that where I came from was passion and frustration. And you put me back on the right track by always being there as a sounding voice for me. And I appreciate it. And I thank you for what you've done for the community. Wish you the best.
Well, I stand by that. I walked away very proud. And, you know what? I'm not walking away feeling like a loser in this at all. I just walk away. I feel like I'm walking away comfortable. When I look back at where we came from 12 years ago, when I first was here, and other people have more history out than I do, but I look at it today and go, wow. That's a big difference. I was part of that. So I do feel like it's not a space. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, notices of motion. We have none. Now we have a question period. It's a maximum of 3 minutes per speaker. If we have any, might have one. We'll be timing you. And there'll be no comments, just questions this tonight. For items strictly limited to this agenda. And we have a maximum time limit of 15 minutes before we go to the in-house audience. Folks can phone in at 250-749-6681 and dial extension 108 still, or email their questions now or anytime to general@lakecowichan.ca. The phone number again is 250-749-6681 extension 108. And we will allow members of the in the studio audience to ask any questions while we await any questions from the audience.
No questions.
Perfect. Then we will pause for 3 minutes. Do we have any questions? I didn't hear the phone.
Nothing.
Okay, the next item is in camera. Mr. Fernandez, can you give us the reasons for going in camera? this
Yeah,
evening?
section 92 of the community charter requires that before a meeting, following a meeting is closed to the public. Council must state by resolution why the meeting is being closed. The basis on which the meeting is being closed falls under following sections, including shown section 91. A, dealing with personal information on an identifiable individual, and C 91 C, S 91 C, labor relations.
Okay, motion to go in camera.
Move that we go in camera.
And second by Councilor Sandu. Those in favor? All opposed, motion is carried. Right. Bill,
You get. Next month.
making some good